أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Munibah Khan and you're watching Duroos-Ul-Qur'an. Today inshallah we'll be looking deeply into the word phrase that is Rabbil Alameen. The word Allah in this phrase alone clarifies why He deserves all the thanks and praises. The entity whose name is Allah is the possessor of all virtues, capabilities, perfections and favors. That is why He deserves praises and thanks. But the Quran is a miracle and the word of Allah. Wherever a question arises, the answer is hidden right there or is necessarily found elsewhere in the Quran. When the question arises, why all praise is for Allah? The answer comes out that it is because He is the sustainer of all the worlds. It's not just two worlds, He is the sustainer of all the worlds. He is the Lord and Master of all. He is the ruler of all. He provided all the things that were required before the birth of all and the reasons and sources on which the birth was dependent. He provides the means needed to survive during and after birth. He is the one who provides all the items and things that are prerequisites for survival and growth, and during childhood, youth, adolescence, middle age, old age, and at the end of life. Since He is the creator, owner, ruler, sustainer and cherisher of the universe and humans, only He deserves the praise. The rububiyyah, that is, the lordship of Allah, extends to the guidance of all aspects of humans. It may occur to a student of knowledge that the worlds are just two. As I just said, one is the present world and the other is the hereafter. But the Quran says that Allah is the Lord of the worlds, which, where did more than two worlds come from? The answer is that in Arabic, the word alam is used for everything that can be used to identify Allah. It is said, "Kul ma yu'lamu bihi al-khaliqu fahuwa alam." That is, everything that can be used to know Allah is called the world. This way, every leaf, straw, drop or particle is a world itself. Every creature is a world. The smaller world, and every human being is a world, a smaller world. Every particle and atom has a very wise and complex system, as we know through science now. And even a dumb can understand that every star and planet is a world. There are countless galaxies in Allah's universe, and there are numerous solar systems in galaxies. The fact is that Allah Almighty has created innumerable worlds which humans cannot even count till date. Therefore, He is the creator, owner and ruler of the entire universe, and He deserves all the praise and all the thanks. Next comes the next part, that is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Okay, now Ar-Rahman is a form of exaggeration. That means Allah Almighty is the bestower of compassion and abundance, and His compassion is common to all creatures. All creatures means all. Okay, He has been blessing each of His creatures with His compassion. His known and strangers, the faithful and the rebel, the obedient and the disobedient, the believers and the infidels, the monotheists and the polytheists, even the turbulent, rebellious and the atheists, all share His compassion. Every single breath we take is His compassion. Ar-Rahim is also a form of exaggeration, definitely, but it includes continuity at the same time. That is, His mercy is common as well as continuous and everlasting. There's another meaning to these two words, these two names. Some commentators have pointed out that His general compassion is common to all, but that a special compassion is reserved for His faithful and obedient servants. Like the Muslims, not all Muslims, better say it like His faithful and obedient servants. A question arises as to why Allah Almighty is taking care of everyone. What is its purpose? The answer to this confusion is hidden in Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, that Allah Almighty is selfless and self-sufficient. Everyone needs Him and He doesn't need anyone. He cares for everyone and meets everyone's needs only because of His mercy and compassion. As simple as that. Now comes the next part of this surah, and that is of the verses that we are discussing. This is the third verse, Maliki Yawmiddin. Now in this verse, that is, He is the owner of the day of judgment. One satanic whisper is also answered here. A whisper arises that when Allah Almighty is feeding everyone and satisfying the needs of all without any hesitation, and showering His mercy on the disbelievers, polytheists, and even the rebellious, what is the need to be afraid and fearful? There's nothing wrong with adopting infidel, polytheistic, immoral, cruel, or even obscene ways. What is wrong if we spend lavishly, behave immorally, become a champion, of luxury and worldly pleasure? Because Allah is the most compassionate, the most merciful, and the most forgiver. He will forgive us all. This is what we get most commonly. The answer is that indeed Allah is the most merciful, the most compassionate. His lordship and mercy are for everyone. But at the same time, He is the reckoner, just and fair. He has been managing and preserving the record of every human life. Everyone's diary of deeds is being written. Everyone's personal file is being prepared. Allah will show everybody's actual deeds one day. He has set a day for reckoning, and only He is the master of that day. Only He will have all the authority that day. Therefore, none should adopt wrong thinking and practices by relying on His prevailing lordship and mercy. Rather, one should live in fear of His wrath and reckoning, and expect His mercy by believing and living a life of faithfulness and obedience. In these three verses of Surah Al-Fatiha, the three essential points of the Quranic dawah and message have been pointed out. In the first verse, Tawheed is mentioned, and only Allah Almighty deserves all praises and thanks, because He is the Lord of all the worlds, that is, the Creator, the Master, and the Ruler. Only He is the natural ruler and the religious ruler. The first and second verses also refer to the prophethood, and the third verse explicitly points to the third basis, that is the hereafter. Alright, and our last supplication or praises are due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Inshallah, with this we end our first lesson of Surah Al-Fatiha. Inshallah, in the next episode of this series, we will see the confession and supplication of the believer. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Jazakallah khair.